high school. I was a reasonably good student in high school, and my parents wanted me to go to college. So I went to the University of Maine, and I attended 3 semesters at UMaine. My grades were okay, not awesome, mostly because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I reached a point where it was time for me to declare a major. And it may not seem like a big deal to you right now, but it's a lot of pressure at that time, because the question is really, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And trying to make that decision is a tough one. So I ended up taking a semester off from school and moving back in with my parents. And it was a bit of a tough time for me, because I felt like I should, at that point, being 19, having graduated from high school, felt like I should be more responsible for myself and on my own and have a better life's path. So it took a lot of thinking and not panicking. I had to realize that growing up, people had given me skills. I had to think a little bit about what those things that I was passionate about, and maybe perhaps that's something I should go back to school and study. And so after taking a semester off and talking to people, thinking about what I thought I was good at and what I might like to do, I went back to school. I transferred to a different school and kind of started over. But I think when it comes to adversity, it really is about inventorying what my choices are that I can do, and also thinking about what skills I have. I think a lot of times in life, when things aren't going very well for us, we hit the panic button and we start to think that everybody's against us and I can't do this. But I think for most people, they've got amazing sets of skills. All they have to do is figure out how to tap into them.
When I went into law enforcement, starting out with meeting the public, and they were big on doing community policing. And back when I started in the 90s, law enforcement was kind of, when people deal with the police, it was more of a negative thing. And I got involved in a community policing group, and we ended up trying to turn that around where the experience of law enforcement would be more of a positive experience for people. So what we ended up doing is going out into communities, trying to meet with people more often, stopping at stores, conversing with the owners of the stores or the clerks, and some of the people who were frequenting the stores, and just trying to get a positive response from people. Trying to talk to them in a more positive rather than a negative situation. Just like meeting up with them on a by chance basis and having a good experience with them that way. So that's kind of how we looked at it, or how I looked at it when I first got into it. Wasn't a very popular field. I think it's kind of gone back and forth over the years. I think more people feel more comfortable now, because I think a lot of law enforcement agencies have done that. I think you see a lot more community policing, and I think it's been a real good positive thing.
My first year of college was difficult after I graduated from high school, and went straight to college. I went to a university in New England, and I had spent most of my time in the Midwest. When I arrived at this university, I found it very difficult to transition. It wasn't easy to find people who I could talk to, and it wasn't easy to find activities that I thought would be fun for me. I struggled with some of the coursework because it was very different from what I had experienced in high school, and I made the decision pretty early that I would transfer. And I also started to think about whether I was even old enough to go to college, and whether I was mature enough. So I spent the year at that university thinking about being somewhere else. And it made it difficult for me to do my work, to get good grades. By second semester, however, I had started to find more places on campus that felt comfortable to me. I started to develop some real friendships, and my grades started to go up. As it turns out, I decided to stay in college, but to transfer. And I ended up at a different school. This one was back in the Midwest, and ended up having a terrific time and a good career. So that first year of college taught me that you can't always understand what you're about to undertake. You don't always know what's coming. And it's important to be patient, and it's important to know who you are. when you undertake something as complicated and as difficult as leaving home and trying to become your best self somewhere else.